Hi everyone, today I'm going to be sharing this art project with you. I made a custom resin tray, and I also wanted to read some quotes from a book that I love called 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna Wiest. I thought it was Brianna Wiest, but I think it's Wiest from what I've researched. I like to try and get people's names right because I know that I hate being called Megan and I hate when people call me things they don't want to be called, so that's why I try really hard to get people's names right. I only like being called Meg. So anyways, I decided to not speed up this video and show you in real time how I create these resin trays. I might interject here and there and just tell you what I'm doing, and I'm also going to be reading some quotes that I have picked out from the book that I have really felt resonated with me and that I think might help you or resonate with you as well. So let's get into it. Just a quick overview that you will notice while I'm working. I try to pour way more white than I do colors, which gives it that marble effect, and the gold alcohol ink does as well. I'm basically using a white acrylic paint. The colors are all powder pigments, and then the gold is an alcohol ink. And I will link any supplies I can down below. The mustard yellow that I used on the tray did not mix with resin. I've never had that happen before. It just was not working. I wanted to put a little bit of mustard yellow in the actual tray just to match the outside, but didn't work. So yeah, then I just used my heat gun to spread all the colors around. I do have a little bit of a cold right now, so I'm sorry if I sound a bit nasally and not as nice as usual, but hopefully it's bearable. Okay, the first quote. Your brain can only perceive what it's known, so when you choose what you want for the future, you're actually just recreating a solution or an ideal of the past. When things don't work out the way you want them to, you think you've failed only because you didn't recreate something you perceived as desirable. In reality, you likely created something better, but foreign, and your brain misinterpreted it as bad because of that. When you consider doing something that you truly love and are invested in, you're going to feel an influx of pain and fear, mostly because it will involve being vulnerable. Bad feelings should not always be interpreted as deterrents. They are also indicators that you are doing something frightening and worthwhile. Not wanting to do something would make you feel indifferent about it. Fear equals interest. This is from the section of 10 things emotionally intelligent people do. They don't assume that the way they think and feel about a situation is the way it is in reality, nor how it will turn out in the end. They recognize their emotions as responses, not accurate gauges of what's going on. They accept that those responses may have to do with their own issues rather than the objective situation at hand. This is from the section, How People We Once Loved Become Strangers Again. We all start as strangers. The choices we make in terms of love are usually the ones that seem inevitable anyways. We find people irrationally compelling. We find souls made of the same stuff as ours. Our lives intersect in a way that makes them feel like they couldn't have ever been separate. And this is lovely. But the ease and access isn't what we crave. We are all just waiting for another universe to collide with ours, to change what we can't change ourselves. 16 signs of a socially intelligent person. They don't immediately deny criticism or have such a strong emotional reaction to it that they become unapproachable or unchangeable. Some of the most difficult people to be in relationships with are those who are so threatened by even the slightest suggestion that their behavior is hurtful that they actually end up getting angry at the person suggesting it, reinforcing that problem altogether. Socially intelligent people listen to criticism before they respond to it. An immediate emotional response without thoughtful consideration is just defensiveness. They never overgeneralize other people through their behaviors. They don't use you always or you never to illustrate a point. Likewise, they root their arguments in statements that begin with I feel as opposed to you are. They do that because choosing language that feels unthreatening to someone is the best way to get them to open up to your perspective and actually create the dialogue that will lead you to the change you desire. The main thing socially intelligent people understand is that your relationship to everyone else is an extension of your relationship with yourself. Here are some uncomfortable feelings that actually indicate the right path. Feeling lost is a sign that you've become more present. It may feel as though you're off track until you're used to it. Random influxes of irrational anger or sadness. Emotions are coming up because it's our job to no longer ignore them or resist them. A life-changing event has just happened. A divorce, losing a job, a car breaking down, etc. Having an intense need to be alone. Other people's problems are draining you more than intriguing you. This means you're recalibrating. Feeling unsure of who you really are, past illusions dissolving. You feel unsure because it is uncertain. You're in the process of evolving, and these feelings of uncertainty lead to something better. Recognizing how far you still have to go, it means you know where you're headed, finally know where and who you want to be. I found this quote very helpful. The reason we don't allow those shifts to become baselines is because of the upper limit. As soon as our circumstances extend beyond the amount of happiness we're accustomed to and are comfortable feeling, we unconsciously begin to self-sabotage. We are programmed to seek what we've known. So even when we think we're after happiness, we're actually trying to find whatever we're most accustomed to, and then we project that onto whatever actually exists, over and over again. Everybody has a tolerance for feeling good. When things go beyond that limit, we sabotage ourselves so we can return to our comfort zone. Most people prefer the comfort of what they've known to the vulnerability of what they don't, even when what they don't is objectively much better. This one might help you if you are going through heartbreak. This helped me a lot recently. The fact that we assume people are as we imagine them, a compilation of the emotional experiences we've had with them, as opposed to the patterns they reveal to us in their behavior. It's more accurate to sum people up by what they repeatedly do. The fact that it is hard to do everything. It's hard to be in a relationship, it's hard to not be in one. It's hard to have to perform at a job you love and are emotionally invested in. It's hard not to be living your dreams by a certain age. Everything is hard. It's just a matter of what you think is worth the effort. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. How many times have you heard someone say that? In brackets, how many times have you said that? Probably a lot. The idea that we should know is a heaping pile of socially crafted that's been superimposed on our psyches since kindergarten, and it's holding us back. You owe nothing to your younger self, and you are not responsible for being the person you once thought you'd be. Our sole experience of the world is from our senses, psyche, and we see the world as we are, not as it is. We assume that people think the way we do because our internal narrative and process of the world is all we know. Expand your perceptions. If you're uncomfortable, you're being pushed to think beyond what you've known. You're being called to see yourself in a new way. Open yourself to possibilities you normally wouldn't consider or layers of yourself you've yet to see. When you ask other people for advice on whatever you're worrying about, first ask yourself what you hope they'll say. That's what you want to tell yourself. Those are all the quotes I have for you today. I have tons more from all different books and this book as well. One of my favorite things to do, if you know me, is to sticky note quotes and sections I like from books, and then I type them all up, and I just have a binder full of notes that I look back on and that I love to share with others. So that's also why I love doing these videos, because I have so many different things that I want to share with people that have helped me a lot in my personal development journey. So 24 hours later, after the resin has dried, I always just go in and paint the actual tray itself. I do multiple layers of paint as well as a layer of varnish. It takes so long, but it's worth it. It makes the color very vibrant. And this person, for this custom order, they love mustard yellow, so I knew I had to include that. I had some left over from a shelf I painted. So here are some close-ups. I love the way the gold shimmers when the light hits it right. It can also do this with sunlight. It doesn't have to be a phone flash, and I like how the gold can be subtle or it can be really sparkly. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!